Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about patent cliffing. Patent cliffing is a phenomenon that a lot of people are picking up on for pharma and bio patents. And basically, for patent cliffs, you have the patent being filed, you have the patent being issued. Not a lot of change in stock price there because everything's speculative as to whether the patent's going to get issued, as to what the exact claims are going to look like. But then once you have definite claims and a patent being issued, that's when you'll see sometimes your stock go up because people realize that you have a market monopoly. That market monopoly can last for 20 years, as we've discussed. That's when patents typically last for, at least utility patents. And then right around that time, when the patent's going to expire, that's when the market realizes that your monopoly is going to collapse and you'll have the cliffing effect, right? And this is an example of only one patent being issued. Companies don't just issue one patent or file for one patent. They typically have many patents in effect. So take this with a grain of salt. But if your patent expires for your most important product, typically the market will react adversely because they realize that your monopoly on that very specific product is going to cease to exist. So that's when your stock price goes down. Again, this is most relevant to pharma and bio because they have to be very specific in the way that they disclose stuff in their patents. They have to be specific as to the amino acid chains that they use, the chemicals they use, the way that the medicine is taken. As opposed to software. Software manufacturers can claim stuff in means plus function language, which is exactly what it sounds like. A claim for a software patent could literally be a means for turning on a TV. That's extremely broad. It's very generic. You don't exactly know how that TV is being turned on. You just know that they're claiming a means for it. And software companies can get patents for stuff like that. So they have a really big edge in that they don't have to disclose their specific cryptography, their specific code. They can go the means plus function route. So contributing factors here, trade secrets. Obviously software has the edge here because again, they get to keep their code and their cryptography to themselves. Pharma and bio, they have to disclose stuff very well for regulatory purposes and for patent purposes. Brand loyalty. Again, just because a patent expires for Microsoft doesn't mean that everybody's going to go and jump over to Google OS or Linux or something. They're going to stick with the brand that they like. And so brand loyalty here can definitely affect this graph. Entry costs, again, just because a patent expires doesn't mean that it's going to have a monopoly collapse. If the entry costs for going into this industry are very high, then you could still have relative exclusivity for your market of this product. And that kind of brings us to the next point, R&D relevancy. Just because Windows 98 expires, has a patent that expires that's relevant to it, doesn't mean that people are going to jump over to Linux or Google OS. There's always going to be Windows 10, 11, 12, 25, whatever. And so having that R&D relevancy is going to also help you to smooth out this graph here because people aren't going to switch just every time a single patent expires.